It wasn't the best round 18 of the 2023 NRL season. Plenty of blowouts indeed, but in a week where Manly have shaped up the future of their club, it was a gritty, old-school Manly Seagulls style performance to claim an 18-16 win over the Sydney Roosters in what was a must-win game for both sides. The Roosters really have to go on an undefeated run if they have any chance to play finals footy now in 2023. As for Manly, look, without Turbo, it's going to be tough, but that win was certainly a step in the right direction. And after another week of criticism and speculation, Schuster, off the back of signing a 3-year extension worth of reported $2.5 million, came up with the match winner to Ben Trbojevic. How good was it to see? What was the junior connection? The highlight for Manly fans. A few years ago, we've been waiting for these two to combine at the NRL level, and they've just scored a match-winning try over a team that is still very good on paper. I did think the Sydney Roosters, this was their best game for some time. It felt like, at least until the end of the game, that things were clicking. Everyone found their role. And I do think that maybe they've got to look at keeping a Sandon Smith or putting a Drew Hutchinson at halfback, because that is really the only thing that has worked. I know Walker and Keary sort of went on a run at the end of last year, but let's be honest, Sydney Roosters fans. They've been the second favourite to win the premiership with the bookies 2 years in a row now, and they just haven't fired a shot. I will say, for all the criticism around Tedesco, as someone who was playing against him for the first time this year, every time he touches the ball, he's still dangerous. Look, I won't lie. I'm one of these people who have been very critical of him this year, and it sucks because he's probably my favourite non-Manly player. At least he was until the start of the year. But every time he touched that ball, there was a bit of danger factor. Their forwards for the Roosters, I thought, were pretty outstanding. Lindsay Collins, JWH. When it came to the battle in the middle, I certainly thought the Roosters got the upper hand, and they were probably the better side for most of the match. But the Manly Warringah Seagulls, lucky for them, they had a guy whose initials are DCE. This dude, this halfback, this 34-year-old is playing arguably the best footy in his career. He's taken that Queensland form. He does this every time of year for Queensland. He's taken it to Manly. This guy is one of the best halfbacks of all time. We are watching greatness. Manly are watching arguably their best ever player. And just probably by midway through next year, he's going to become our most capped player of all time. So it's great to see. He's my favourite player of all time. And watching him carry us, especially in that first half, it's something to see. Not all of his crazy kicks and all of his crazy plays come off cherry, but 9 times out of 10 they do. And what he's so good is he makes everyone around him better. Jake Trbojevic, he was a great inclusion for Manly tonight, but still, there is a lot of improvement. Jason Saab had a few too many areas in. Brad Parker, if you told me him and Joey Manu were going to have one of the best centre battles of the year, I would have laughed, but they certainly did. Manu obviously got the flick pass because Tui Pilato loves a bit of raspberry jam, but Brad Parker, he got one over Manu, and Manu obviously scored to start the second half. Cooler was a bit quiet. Joshy Schuster, look, overall he was a bit quiet, but wasn't that a moment of greatness? Game was on the line. Joshy Schuster won the ball in his hands, and he just put Ben Trbojevic through a gap that was bigger than the Grand Canyon. Lockie Croker tried once again. Manly, they still do have a forward problem. We are lacking a middle forward big time. When Paseka goes off, there is a huge hole that needs to be filled. I thought Josh Alloway did decent on the bench tonight. Probably his best game of the season so far. But Manly fans, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say they were a lock for the top 8 or anything, but there's certainly a team to at least follow for the remainder of the season, especially with Cherry Evans in the form that he's in. And hopefully Jake earns an Origin jersey later today when you're watching this video, when it comes out on the Monday morning. But a good win for Manly, a great day to be there at Brookie Oval. If you couldn't tell, I was there. Listen to my voice, which is dying. Time to invest in some Strepsils. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Do you think the Sydney Roosters are done for 2023? Do you think the Manly Seagulls are a chance at top 8? playing finals footy this September. Let me know in that comment section. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't watched it so far. Now, I will say I didn't catch the Bulldogs Knights game, but Mr. Luke just made one of the funny videos of all time. Maybe not for his perspective, but at least for mine. And I'm going to check that in the corner. Sorry, Luke, but I think it's quite funny. But ladies and gentlemen, do the big three, and I'll see you in the next one. Friday night.